Welcome to A Human Among Humans.
Aha.
So I'm here with Michael Koran.
And who are you?
And I am Michelle.
Michelle who?
Michelle Schou.
Wow. You lucked out.
Uh-huh.
I hope we all lucked out to be who we are. Can we feel that?
I know, it's a great practice. Why did this happen for me?
Why did I happen for me?
All right, yeah.
What a gift we have in me. Or you too. Or you. We hope you feel like you're a gift. If you don't feel it now, by the end of the show, satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. Now, why are we wearing these costumes?
Well, we thought we would share a little bit about nonviolent communication that we have been studying for a couple of years now, right?
Yes.
And you're going to teach a class on Thursday.
Tomorrow, if you like this show, you can sign up at Lexington Community Ed for compassionate, nonviolent communication. It can also be called compassionate communication. And hopefully we will all feel more compassionate after the show than we have right now, than we are feeling right now.
Okay.
This is a compassion expander.
Okay.
Now, why are we wearing these beautiful costumes?
Well, this is a illustration of a tool that can help in communication. It definitely changed my life. I had a whole turnaround with NVC. So
NVC is nonviolent communication because you're going to be an initiate after the show.
I see, which Marshall Rosenberg started.
Yes.
Right.
We have his book, Practical Spirituality, which you can get for $7 on Amazon. I highly recommend it. But we will now reveal to you. First, I know you've been itching to know what's with these costumes.
Okay, all right. Well, let's see. This is a jackal, and you're a giraffe, right?
Oh, good. Yeah, I get the good role. I got the good role.
Yeah, you're the good guy.
I am the good guy. That's why
Okay.
I've gotten through life pretending to be a good guy like my daddy.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, we could do an example. What's neat about nonviolent communication is it's so simple and yet in some ways profound, because for me it is a spiritual practice, actually.
It's taken me 10 years in teaching it. Those who can do, those who can't teach. Teaching it at least 3 times, including 2 classes with you. To begin to understand it, I thought I knew it. But now maybe, since I'm teaching it tomorrow, but we have to explain what the jackal and giraffe mean.
Okay, all right. Okay. Well, we could take do you have a situation you'd like to work with?
Oh, I see it. Well,
yeah.
I was talking to my friend Johnson, and we were talking about last night about the fact that you can't get an abortion maybe in many states in the United States. And I said, Johnson, I feel like I could understand both sides. Because I was with a woman who I still love, who said that it was me she got pregnant from. I didn't know, but it didn't really matter. And I wanted to put the child up for adoption because I wasn't ready to be a father. I was only in my 50s.
Mhm.
You know, you got to grow up to be able to handle this.
I see. Okay.
Not to be an eternal graduate student. And she didn't want an abortion, and an adoption rather. And so we go to the abortion clinic in Brookline, and we get there and they interview her and she changes her mind. And I say, fine. Good for me.
Mhm.
Not all bad, you know.
Mhm.
And then we talk about it some more and we go again.
Hmm.
And through the
Oh, gosh.
pickets, the
Yeah.
people saying, murder, murder, you're murder. And she goes there, she already had an abortion and did it again.
Mhm.
And so I told Johnson, when I said I could understand both sides of this.
Mhm.
And Johnson's one of those, I know the truth. I don't want to hear from you. He says, how could you hear from both sides? That's either just, this is a woman's right to choose. And I said, well, there's a baby here. It's like, someone with COVID can't just say it's my body, I can go wherever I want and cough wherever I want. You can't do that. But he would have none of it. He just didn't want to even engage.
Mhm.
And I thought as I hung up after we prayed, geez, I'm beginning to understand Johnson doesn't want to hear another side. So I might have to relate to him that way and just lose the fun of conversation.
Mhm.
Or at least ask him, I'm learning this. Would you like to explore the other side? I just asked another friend that today and he said no.
Mhm.
But it felt so much better to ask rather than get into it.
Uh-huh.
So much better to
Uh-huh.
respect them and say, would you like to?
Uh-huh.
So that was
Yeah.
that is the challenge.
Uh-huh.
Maybe it's not a challenge because I'm just not going to do it with him
Right, yeah.
unless I ask.
Uh-huh.
In the past, he has said no.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so it's kind of, I mean, it's obviously a hot topic right now, and it is one thing to make a decision politically for the nation, and then another thing that you're having a conversation with a friend, and would you say your need was to be heard or respected, or what's
I wanted to. Well, I would have loved to have been listened to with compassion.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's. I think it still bothers me. Yeah, I can feel it. I can still cry.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't have. I really was not. It seems silly, but I just, because of my own trauma, could not, my own childhood trauma, I couldn't then have taken care of a child.
Uh-huh.
I had the child. Or gotten along with my friend, who was a wild child like me.
Uh-huh. So you feel like maybe the child wouldn't have had good parents.
To say the least.
Okay. All right. I mean, I guess there's the option of adoption, but
Yes, I would have loved that.
you would have loved
Loved it.
it.
I'm
Uh-huh.
so sorry I didn't insist. Or
Uh-huh.
at least, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know if I could have insisted, but
Uh-huh.
bribed her.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
If I will give you $10,000 if you carry this child and we put it up for adoption. I don't know if I had the money, but I wish I could have said that.
Uh-huh.
Borrowed the money.
Yeah. Yeah. So when it comes to the political wider thing, how do you feel for the nation?
before I answer that incredible question, we were going to tell people why we're wearing these.
I know, I can't.
I can't go. Oh, okay, we're keeping them. We haven't forgotten you. We're keeping you in suspense.
Okay.
We'll be here for another 47 minutes. Don't go away.
Yeah.
Eventually you'll find out. This is like a whodunit. So your question, what do I feel about the nation?
Well, I just feel like people might not be able to. There's a lot of heat around all of this, right?
Yeah,
and
yes.
so I just really want to make the distinction between maybe having a conversation with a friend and wanting to be heard and and listened to, right?
And even understood.
Right.
Even he didn't have to agree.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. But there is a difference about what you might vote for in the whole country.
Yes, I don't think I could, at least now. No, I would like people to freely decide for adoption and for the government to, the same thing I wanted to do, to pay people to carry the child. Poor people are usually in trouble here. Rich people can buy abortions wherever they live. My mother did. Wasn't even rich, middle class. I'd love us to, that would be probably, I wonder if that would work, pay people to carry the child and put it up for adoption. That might make many people just get pregnant. I don't know if that would work either. But maybe so many people...
You mean as a choice, but they could get a money incentive to carry the child.
Yes, I don't know if that would practically work. It would have worked with my friend, if I thought about it. So I'm at this point reluctant to make people who can't even afford it to carry a child as a law. It doesn't work. They tried to stop people from drinking. They made a law of that, or even stop drugs. It doesn't work. You can't just make laws when people want to do something else. So I would still vote to what's called a woman's right to choose.
Okay.
But I would have loved to have had this conversation with Johnson.
Right, yes, right. So,
I would have loved that.
Right, so really...
Because you help me understand. Because you're a loving, compassionate person, in spite of what's on top of your head.
That's right, I know. All right, so we'll go back to, there's really 4 steps to
5
steps to
0
nonviolent
yes.
communication.
Oh, how to new ways of communicating. We promised you this. Now, I just learned, because I'm teaching Taoism in my Religions for the World class, that I didn't know that. I kind of knew this, but didn't. That we're basically a flow. We're not as you would say, we're not a noun, we're a verb. We're doing something. We're like a river. Even a tree's a flow. It's not like a thing. Even the things a flow. Rocks grow and everything's a flow. Some things flow very slow, like rocks. So I didn't realize that. We're flowing, as you said. God is a verb, not a noun. God is a happening, a grace. And so, this founder of Nonviolent Communication said, I want us to all feel that we're a beloved divine energy. That's what we're really made of. And when we can feel it between ourselves and the other person, then we can flow with our beloved divine energy. So that's the basic aim.
Yeah.
And then there are, he says, 5 steps to get there.
Okay. So step 1.
We can do it with the audience. This is riveting TV. We can be
Mhm.
silent for 2 minutes. Step one is to commute. We can do it maybe briefly,
Mhm.
because you're probably silently watching us in awe, I'm sure. Riveted to the set. So because to learn how can I communicate in a compassionate way? This is our big chance. It's come your way. Michelle has come all the way from New Hampshire to reveal this to us. So step number 0 is to shut up. Or if you want to be polite, since this is Cambridge, to commune in silence, which we can do. We can reveal to our audience, we can commune in silence.
I see.
If you
But
like.
it's not just, it's wanting to connect, I think. So for some people, communing in silence might be a way to connect. But I think it's the willingness to connect, whether it's to yourself or the person that you are engaging with.
Yes.
Yeah. So for some people, half the time in life, you're not going to have time to do a minute of communion, of silence. Like it's nice if you're in an intimate partnership, and that's the way that you're able to connect.
I connect much better in silence.
Yeah. So
No
not
offense.
everyone
No offense.
needs that,
No offense.
but it's good to know if you do. And
But it is a 0. Okay, so the 0
zero step is the willingness to connect,
or the openness,
openness to connect.
because it's not like
Uh-huh.
we're going to connect.
Uh-huh.
I will us to connect. Maybe you can try that.
Well, to be because you can be in a place where you're just not ready to deal with it. You really
Often,
need space.
usually, maybe
Yeah.
in my life.
Right. So you have to just be that's an intention.
Oh, right.
An intention to connect.
And what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like Johnson didn't seem to want to connect to me
Uh-huh.
when I was talking to him. I
Mhm.
love the feeling of connection. That's why I
Mhm.
always like to be silent or let people talk. Like let
Mhm.
people talk, I can be silent with them.
Uh-huh.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Although some people,
Mhm.
it's harder than others.
Mhm.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
I have some friends I will not mention who when they talk, it's hard. They're talkers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in this instance, it would be you're the one that has the problem. He doesn't, right? He does. You're the one that's experiencing difficulty in
I'm
the situation.
not feeling okay, yes.
Yeah. So, you can connect one with yourself to know that you're actually not feeling okay, right?
Yes.
Because it's easy to be in these conversations and you decide there's no way you don't even want to touch in with how you're feeling because you just want to get through and be safe on the
Yes,
other
that's
side,
right. That's right. The old masculine way. We are not concerned with our feelings. We have to do something, fix something. It's very disconcerting to be a man nowadays.
Uh-huh.
You're brought up one way, no crying, and now you're supposed to cry. I've had so many women tell me when I tell them how I'm feeling, they supposedly wanted vulnerable men, but
Mhm.
not that kind of vulnerability.
All right, so the connection, I think, what do you think? Connecting with yourself to realize, yes, indeed, you're
Feeling hurt.
feeling hurt. Okay.
That helps to find out how I'm feeling
Uh-huh.
and what I'm needing.
Yeah, so what are you needing?
I think we said I would love Johnson to
Listen,
to
respect, maybe?
respect and
Uh-huh.
compassion and help me.
Uh-huh.
And I wanted him to discover what I just did with you, because you're a compassionate person,
Mm-hmm.
what I was really feeling and thinking about
Mhm.
this. But Johnson cut me off.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah. So you
Which
know.
brings it, well, never
Yeah.
mind. Go
So
ahead.
anyways, we already, and the observation in that situation is that you heard the words that he said. What did he say? I don't want to talk about it, or
He just said, women have a right to it's their body, they have a right to choose, that's
okay, with
it.
an elevated tone of voice.
A little bit, yes, a tiny bit, I'm exaggerating.
Yeah, and a certain way that you could tell it was a period.
Yeah, it wasn't open to what do you, yes, well said, very, very well
Okay,
said.
all right. So there we have it. We have the 5, we haven't reached the request yet,
Yeah,
but we have the whole ingredients for the beginning.
Yes.
So there's the willingness to connect with self or the other,
or the open, yes.
or both.
The
Yeah,
openness.
the openness.
Well, first, as you said, first connect to yourselves. I can't connect to you if I don't know what I'm feeling and thinking,
Yeah.
which I've tried to do for most of my life.
Uh-huh.
It's a pity to grow older and realize but it's a gift to discover how wrong you've been.
Mm-hmm.
Or wrong is too harsh a word.
Mm-hmm.
Misguided, uneducated.
Okay. All right, so we have that piece, and then we have the next piece, which is feeling.
Yes.
Yeah. And then these are your feelings.
Yes.
Because we also have another piece in this, which is the person you're relating to.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So first we're doing you. So we have the feeling. The observation is the thing that triggered the feeling. So that was hearing a louder tone of voice that sounded like it had a period to it.
Yes.
And it sounded like the end of the
Yes.
conversation. Okay, right. So,
You pig, you masculine
Okay.
pig.
all right. So, and then the need. So here we have it. We have the connection, the observation,
Yeah.
the feeling,
Yeah.
hurt.
Yeah.
Okay. And the need, which is your need for,
Exploration and respect.
yeah, being
compassion.
heard.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the last piece is making a doable request. Right? So,
And, yeah.
yeah. So that can be of yourself or the other person, right?
Yes, I'm afraid with Johnson. I might be a little too cowardly. My doable request to myself, which I kind of made somewhat angrily. Okay, I can't expect that from Johnson. Reminds me of some of our, we've been known each other for 40 years, and it hasn't changed yet. So, and I did discover this. Okay, I'm not going to expect this, and that felt better.
Mm-hmm.
That Johnson just isn't someone who wants to hear the other side, and I can still love Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
We grew up together. I mean, not quite, but I was 40 growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And so that felt better, the request of myself,
Mm-hmm.
rather than making one of him.
Mm-hmm.
Johnson, could I present my side? That's just, maybe he'd reluctantly say, okay.
Mm-hmm. Right. But, I mean, one way you could say it is including the observation, feeling, and need, and the request. Like, ouch. I'm feeling a little hurt. I don't know if you might, it sounds like you feel really strongly about your feeling.
About your thought.
About your thought, your belief, and when I heard your voice raise up, and my impression was it was the end of the conversation by the tone I heard. I just feel hurt right now because I just would love to, because because I'm needing to be heard, or I would love, because I just would love to be heard, and I don't know if you might be willing, it's okay if you say yes or no, but I wonder if you might be willing to listen to me for 1 minute, and maybe say back what you heard from my
Whoa.
side.
Wow.
You know, just because it would contribute, I believe, to, I think it could help me.
And maybe help our friendship.
Well, it might, yeah,
Make,
right.
make our friendship.
Yeah.
Make our friendship feel more wonderful.
Right, and the key is it's a request, not a demand.
Right, it's okay if you say no.
If you
That's
say
crucial.
no. Right, and then you're understanding more about the power of how much that's important to Johnson. Right? So
Yeah.
you realize that, okay, this is who he is, it's hugely important, and he really doesn't have space to listen.
No,
Right.
he has a tough childhood himself.
Yeah. It's, you know, so if we did it, Marshall would say that you're more likely to get your need met if you do some of these steps, whether it's towards yourself or, you know, potentially towards the other person.